This is the all-new Toyota Supra in our full review here on Autogefühl, your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars. Today with Thomas and exterior, interior and the performance driving experience with a lot of fun, I can promise you, will be today right here. And we'll also solve the question, there's the collaboration with BMW. How much of a Z4 is that one? How is it different? We'll find out together. Here now in Full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so far, that you don't miss any of the new car reviews. So here the Toyota Supra, or officially is Toyota GR Supra from Gazoo Racing. I don't know if this additional name is really necessary. They want to have this racing team referral, but who cares? Everyone just says Toyota Supra. And by the way, in Germany, about female or male, we used to say die Supra, so female Supra, so to say, and not der Supra. Now sometimes even Toyota names it a little bit differently, but I think and also that the Supra fans agree that it's a female Supra, at least if you use the German language then. In English, of course, just the Supra, and that's it. Now finally to the front here, LED is standard, and then you also have the LED daytime running lights right there, and they have very aggressive, also a contrasting spoiler, but a very round shape overall. It's also the first difference in design to the BMW Z4. And this color here for today, a very striking one, is called lightning yellow, and yes, really goes like lightning in the eye. Wow, what a delight to look at this pure sports car styling, so athletic. And the length is 4 meters 38, 14 foot 4 or 172 inches. That's 6 centimeters or 2 inches longer than the Z4. But that's just spoiler wise and so on, so there's no real difference. They both use the same platform. It's a cooperation between Toyota and BMW. Where BMW obviously had the bigger share, we'll soon see more of that one in the interior. Here we can see again contrasting colors here, for example at the A-pillar, also the side mirrors, which are matte cool styling, also with some small vortex generators. Comes standard with 19-inch wheels. That's also different. The Toyota Supra comes with a lot of standard equipment to you just buy it and that's it. Yeah, there's some small options available, but you can leave it like this. Then there are some fake design elements, like here an air outtake, which is none actually. Also here at the sides an air intake, which is none again, because the engine is in the front. But why not using it as a design element? Then the contrasting lower spoiler again. And those wheels, they look really aggressive because they also have this dual color scheme, and then really massive shoulder part right there, so a very aggressive sports car styling. Yeah, just this plain rubber frame around the window. This is not that high class. I mean, it's not a cheap car. And we also have a super aggressive look here in the rear. Look how this, let's say, integrated spoiler rear hatch forms. I think it's a great idea, instead of adding an additional wing right there. So that's a more elegant solution. And then strong diffuser in the lower part, also strong wheel exhaust pipes. So this is unmistakably a real sports car look. That's also what people look for when buying this car. Slim tail lamps. So yeah, this is really something. Very strong appearance, although the car is not too big. But I think it's a good example how you can make a compact sports car appear really aggressive without being, too much. And I can tell you, it really holds in driving what it promises from the exterior. More about that soon in the driving part. And suspension here is an adaptive suspension. They call it AVS. This is also standard equipment. Whereas the BMW Z4 also offers a 4-cylinder. This one here, the very same 6-cylinder, they also have in the Z4. 3-liter inline 6-cylinder, turbocharged, 340 horsepower. 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, and 4.3 seconds to 1 kilometers an hour, or 62 miles an hour here. 4.5 it would be with the same engine in the Z4, so this one here a little bit faster because it's 50 kilograms lighter than the 6-cylinder Z4. However, if you go for the Z4 as 4-cylinder, then it's 90 kilograms lighter than this one here. Very interesting. Oh, by the way, look at how massive this front hood is. Wow. Now to the interior, of course, frameless doors, coupe style, yeah. Then soft touch at the inside of the doors, but just very slim door pockets, and this is also the button to open the trunk from here. Then Toyota Supra entry badge. The steering wheel is just, let's say, a standard BMW steering wheel, not a sporty one. Looks a little bit old school, I have to say, also if you compare it to the Z4. Soft touch also at the top of the dashboard right there. Then the seats, those ones are the one you get as standard with Alcantara on the inside. Those ones should also be the one you should go for, just leave it like that. Sporty style and leatherette mainly on the outer part. On one sheet I've read that there also should be some genuine animal skin somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure if it's all leatherette. It's really hard to find out, but let's say mainly animal free, those seats, so it's good. There is one package available where you upgrade to all animal skin, but that doesn't make any sense. You slide around on those seats and they get hotter in summer and cooler in winter. This premium pack, however, would also include a head-up display. I'm not sure if on some markets you can also get it separately, and an inductive charging platform and the JBL sound system. Yeah, we can test the sound with a normal sound system here later on. And again, sometimes it might also be possible to get those options individually. Getting inside, of course, you have a low-seating sports car, and that's also good. If you compare it to the BMW Z4, by the way, and I'm doing that quite a lot because it's interesting, and also, you know, they of course share the same platform. Those seats here are quite comfortable for sport seats. The ones in the Z4, however, a little bit more comfortable because they are a little bit more open. Those ones here, sport here oriented, they keep you tighter as for the side bolsters. However, as a tall person, you still find a good position here with the seat all the way down. With 1.86 or 6.1, still leave some headroom right there. The steering wheel can be adjusted manually and also, you know, very far in the reach. And definitely this whole interior screams BMW. So nothing you would see Toyota alike here in this interior. But that's also not good. I think especially interior-wise, Toyota does profit from this cooperation. Shifting pedals here at the steering wheel, and again, quite nice position here, very sporty. And sportier than in the Z4 also in the way that the A-pillar is flatter, everything is more caged around you. The front screen is slimmer or smaller, so this is more like a dark sports car hole you sit in here. The Z4 would be more open, more light. It's just depending on what you prefer. Interior overview, again very sporty, just you see it here again from this perspective, especially how small the windscreen is. Then 2x 8.8 screens. So here left 8.8, right 8.8. That's smaller than the option in the Z4. In the Z4 you can get 10.25 left and right, so that's bigger. Here they limit it a little bit more. BMW wanted to be a little bit more exclusive as for that, by the way. And here you can see this is not leant towards the driver. That's sometimes a little bit irritating. It's just very, very straight. So you cannot see it and control it that well as a driver. However, this is not only a touchscreen, but you can also use this, oh yeah, that's the music, and it's quite good from this normal sound system, so that's nice. So yeah, I think we can also be satisfied with the normal sound system. Looking forward to test the optional JBL sound system, but again, just if it's possible to pick it individually without the animal skin seats. Then here this lower knob, turning and pressing knob, so there you can still control the touchscreen, especially while driving. That's of course good, and also have the hotkeys to jump to the map. Does not flicker in real life, by the way, and also back to the main menu. Then also good still to have those manual climate unit controls, like that, to be able to control it very easily while driving. Also separate volume knob, and those are some hotkeys you can also control whatever you want to put on there, maybe radio stations or whatever. Again, the steering wheel is good quality, everything. Cruise control on the left side, right side then for sound modes. You can also pick music here with the jog here you can see it then in the digital instruments, pick up the phone and so on. And everything in horizontal way designed here, but good build quality. Lower part then with USB charger for your phone, or you can also get this inductive charging pad optionally. It's not inbuilt right there. There's wireless CarPlay available, so that makes sense in the way that for. Then the shifting lever here, putting it back to D mode. Left side would be then for the manual shifting mode, explaining all about that when we drive the car. There's a separate sports button to get into the sports mode, also more to that in the driving part. Carbon fiber used here at the lower middle console, that's beautiful. And then 2 adaptive cup holders right here. Now some more details to that infotainment system. Here the map, really smooth control, also very responsive, guides the way very well. It's of course the BMW infotainment system. And again, touch control, but also with the lower control knob if you like, so that's both possible. And main functions, you can here have the My Vehicle, for example, also with those sport displays. I'll also show you them in action when we drive the vehicle. You can connect your phone via Bluetooth, that's possible. The other solution would be the wireless CarPlay, and you go to manage mobile devices and then add here the Apple CarPlay connection and then search it in your phone. But the problem is really, I tried it now like 3 different times and so far it always failed. And so guys, before I want to leave, you were saying it doesn't work at all. I went back in the middle of the night into my basement garage and tried it for the 4th time to remove everything and to add everything again. And then the CarPlay finally decided to start working. And there you see how the integration is. It's not for the whole screen, so the right part here stays empty, so to say. And then you can go to the main menus here and go back to the Toyota menu right there. And then it's actually possible to have it here on the left side, to click it, to go back there again. So finally, yes, it's working, and also wireless, as I told you earlier. And then there's also this rear view camera with a decent resolution, and also the helping lines, and you also have the PDC control, which is displayed here on the left side, that you have both actually. You open the boot from the inside of the doors or here with the key, and then you can put open. It's 290 liters, which is not much. And if you compare it to the Z4, yeah, usually coupes have way more space than the convertible, but here this is really limited, especially here in the width. Of course, if you go in there, then you have more than a meter, like 1.10 meters, but this one here, the upper part is less than a meter, and also the length here is less than a meter. So it's just, this part here is just about 80 centimeters, like the length right there. So really limited, and also in the height, this one here is barely over 30 centimeters. Of course, you can still use it for normal small suitcase like this. This works, but putting it upright, let's see, this still works. Glad about that. You can also remove this cover here, by the way. So maybe you have a little bit more than with the Z4 convertible, but not too much. And I mean, yeah, for the everyday groceries, it's still fine, but you shouldn't expect too much. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the Toyota Supra. And yes, of course, it's about agile driving here today. So we start in some winding corners, give you some more of the agility of this car. This is the most important part of this driving review here for today. And then we'll head on to the German Autobahn, the motorway, to really floor this car out, see what this inline 6-cylinder, 340 horsepower, 500 Newton meters of torque can deliver with a 4.3 seconds acceleration figure to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. And this car also has the launch control, so we can also test that, which is a little bit different as for the setting from the BMW. I'll soon tell you more about that. So first of all, when you drive this one here in the normal driving mode, and the engine is quite silent, doesn't scream too much. The steering is also quite light. There is no dead zone, so you do have good control also in the low degree you know, areas right here. It's just light, you know, but that's good for parking in and out, for example. And then you can activate the sport mode with one button, so that's actually quite easy. Maybe even a little bit easier than with the BMW, where we have like this, you know, front and back shifter. So here just one sports mode button, so I like that concept. And then the gears are turned up higher. The steering feedback is a little bit stiffer, and also the adaptive suspension reacts in a stiffer way. The general layout of this this adaptive suspension is, even in the normal mode, that's what I wanted to say, is stiffer than with the BMW Z4. So even in normal mode, stiffer than the Z4, and in the sports mode, even stiffer than. So definitely a sportier setup they put here with the Supra. And then also you hear a little bit more about this exhaust, but it's not really exaggerated that you think, you know, whoa, I'm, you know, destroying the whole neighborhood here. I think that's, you know, they found a good mix, a good balance right here. More throttle input here, earlier shifting down, and then you can always use the shifting pedals at any time. Yeah, way to go, to shift down. And it's also possible to put this shifting lever here to the left side. In the BMW would call it in German manuelle Sportgasse, which would be something like manual sports lane, but lane in a, you know, meaning of the shifting lever, which, yeah, the direct translation. And then the gears stay where they are, you know, so otherwise they would shift up themselves at some point, but here they really stay where they are. And I mean, with this 6-cylinder, and you see from the morning dew, the road is a little bit wet. So indeed, when I really hit the throttle, and I'm also in the sports mode, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so maybe that guy will leave me by. Oh, there's a truck in front of us. So maybe we wait just a little bit. So that's not boring for you. We wait just a little bit, and then we'll hop in again. Plop, magic time lapse. Now a couple of minutes are passed and we can continue. So I was here at the, you know, manual shifting process right there. And that's actually quite funny. It's nice to control those shifting pedals right there. That's always good. And, you know, here on those countryside roads, this car really feels at home, so much fun. And as I said, even in the normal traction mode, where all the assistance systems are activated, this car is starting to get loose a little bit because it's so much power at the rear wheels. Active differential, rear differential there at the rear axle to give you a little bit more traction when going out of the corners. But definitely really aggressive vehicle. Not too aggressive, you can still very well control it. The balance, the handling is amazing, really love that. Steering could be a little bit less light, so to say, I would say, for a true sports car. But I mean, wow, so much fun here on those countryside roads, and wow, really, this is super, super cool. Yes, it's a little bit sportier than the Z4, more in a, you know, like when you say, like, what's the compromise and so on, do I have? Yeah, I can think. So, I think they have, the Z4 offers a little bit more comfort, definitely. So they're both very sporty, both have a great go-kart handling style. This one here, the main difference is that the suspension is stiffer than with the Z4. And engine, of course, the very same when it's a 6-cylinder, and with a 4-cylinder, yeah, the Z4 is lighter, you know. Remember, the Z4 a little bit heavier because it's convertible than this one here with the 6-cylinder. This one here a little bit lighter, but then the 4-cylinder of the Z4 is lighter than this one, especially on the front axle right there. Definitely very interesting. So now we'll get on the motorway and see what about this, you know, real sporty handling. We put in normal shifting mode, but then here again back to the sports mode. Whoa. Oh, and then this F-Type behind us. Let's see. Yeah, he's already bullying us a little bit. Maybe he wants to challenge us. So we'll accelerate now from 60 kilometers up to let's see. And that's 200 kilometers an hour or 125 miles per hour. And this F-Type is gone. And wow, I mean, I don't know if you could see that on camera, but I can tell you this car here is really aggressive. So again, I can just stress, I did not deactivate the traction control, and so far what I have experienced, I can just tell you, don't do it on public roads. So with some of the sportier cars, we can say, yeah, I mean, go in this like, you know, half traction mode, and then you can have a little bit more fun. But here, even with everything activated, I was flooring that car out in the sports mode, in the sports shifting mode that is, and we were getting loose a little bit from the rear axle. So I'm not sure, could you see that on camera, where the car was a little bit like, you know, fishtailing? Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Of course, I could still control that. Yeah. Oh, it's even F-Type R. It's an SVR even. That guy must have been like, wow, what's happening here? So yeah, well, that was a lot of fun. Really cool and great performance. And again, stress the point, not only the suspension is stiffer than with the Z4, but also the stability control setting is a little bit more loose, and even in the normal modes. So if I would go to this traction mode, whoa, then maybe even more things can happen. And one difference, by the way, with the launch control is that with the BMWs, you have to put it in the manuelle Sportgasse, so in this manual shifting mode to the left. Then with the traction control, you know, set to the second level, then hit the brake, then floor it out of the throttle. In here with the Toyota, that doesn't work. When you put the shifting lever to the left, you have to leave it straight in place. Then the launch control only works. So this is like a control difference. So here when it's dark, you see you don't see much. There's not much ambient lighting and so on. I like to have those manual AC knobs that we can control while driving. That's cool. Yeah, I also put the sport displays for you on. That we have a smaller display than with the Z4. You know, whatever. It's not too bad. Couldn't care less. So now from 65 kilometers again to 100. That car is showing me like the you know, the ESC activation symbol here on the right and flashing like, oh, something is happening. It's just by flooring it out without removing any traction settings whatsoever. So yeah, I think that again shows this aggressiveness of this vehicle. Very interesting. Yeah. Here again, very well done in the corners. So yeah, the only thing I could think of that, you know, the steering is maybe a little bit crisper as for the setting, but other than that, you know, is a really great handling, awesome performance, and really for those who like this, you know, surplus in aggressiveness. For me personal, I have to say, I mean, I'm a little bit biased, not because of BMW versus Toyota, because I mean, it's essentially still, you know, mainly a BMW here as for all the engineering, the engine and so on. So yes, they had a bigger part in this whole development process. And it's also normal with those corporations that one manufacturer says, okay, we do more, and the other say like, we just spend the money that we share the development, and it totally makes sense. Why not? So this is definitely more BMW than Toyota. But in the normal settings, BMW would not do it, that it's like so loose. So BMW usually does that only on demand when you change settings, even with their M vehicles, you know. And to me, I mean, I'm biased as for the open top thing, you know. I'm a convertible lover, so I would always go for the convertible just for that reason. But leaving that aside, the question for you is, if you don't care about convertibles, if you want it even more aggressive, a little bit more loose, stiffer, sportier, then this one is the right choice for you. If you like convertibles and if you want more comfort, suspension-wise, also let's say comfort and safety as for the stability control systems, and also seating-wise, because those seats here, they are a little bit tighter. Feel them now as I drive the car a little bit longer. They're also still good for sport seats, and this Alcantara surface is also definitely the best choice. However, the BMW Z4 seats, even in the sporty setup, a little bit more open, a little bit better as for tall people. So they give you a little bit more comfort. Back from the traffic light. It's always really funny how this car gets loose even without the special traction mode. I can just stress it again, and yeah, super fun to drive, super aggressive, but you really have to pay attention already when you're in sports mode. If you maintain everything, traction on, everything in the normal mode, then it's okay. But as soon as you're on the sports mode, really pay attention. This car is somewhat dangerous, yes. It's a true sports car. Pay attention to that. Learn the car first. If you don't have sports car experience, take it step by step. Pay attention to dry roads, because when the road is wet with the rear wheel drive and so much power and this loose traction style this car offers to you, really pay attention. Always safety first. That's what we also do in Autogefühl. We try to deliver you performance experiences. Sometimes also we have racetrack possibilities if we can, but definitely always safety first. We all want to stay healthy, definitely, and also think about the other guys here in traffic, definitely. We have one more flooring it out acceleration, because what's with the power when we are already at speed, and then floor it out and go back to the sports mode to have some more exhaust sound, and want to hear your feedback on how you think this car sounds here when we sit on the inside. So now this is the famous German sign where it says unlimited speed. This is one of the rare parts where you can still do that. So starting from 90 kilometers, so almost 60 miles an hour, like 55 miles an hour, and let's go. This car is really a machine. It's a weapon, yeah. It's definitely a weapon. I mean, you really feel so much connected to the road. 339 horsepower applied, so almost the full horsepower applied here. The gauges showed, and well, this short wheelbase, of course, this doesn't give you the biggest stability on the road, but I mean, really makes this car so agile, and you feel it also. Even when you're like in the slight corner, you feel how the tires are hooking into the ground. Wow. So definitely amazing experience. Whew. This pushes up the adrenaline, definitely. It sure does. Here, by the way, about the short wheelbase, so really agile also at high speeds. Wow. I mean, whew. And indeed, I have to say, this car does not convey, like, let's say, a safe feeling. So we have some sports cars which feel really stable and safe. This one doesn't. It does convey the feeling of attack, 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 attack. So this is something definitely for pure sports car enthusiasts, no doubt about that. And I mean, that's probably also a good decision to have this one as differentiation also a little bit more to the Z4. Wow. Still, we can put it back to the normal mode, then we can relax a little bit more. There's a blind spot monitor, standard equipment, at least in Germany. So this flashes when the car would be next to us, but it doesn't happen too much that you get overtaken with this car. And then there's adaptive cruise control, is also standard in this German package, at least. Not sure if it's different in the US, but should be standard with most of the cars. Then here also distance to the car in front of me is being kept. It's all BMW systems. They work really flawlessly, pretty cool. Also the AEB, autonomous emergency brake, is standard, so good safety equipment pack here on board. So this car can be safe if you leave it in normal mode and if you leave the traction control all on. I have to stress that again. So good that we have all those assistance systems on board. that's pretty cool. Oh, now we can, because the other cars are driving faster than allowed. Here now there's the blind spot monitor flashing with this triangle, and if I would set the turning indicator to the left, then also the indicator is once more flashing. And if we leave the sporty side, talk about more the economical side, if you drive cruise control, motorway, longer time, what about the fuel economy? So it's actually the same as with the BMW Z4, and we didn't find much difference between the 6-cylinder and the 4-cylinder. It's more obvious about the weight itself or something, even if the 4-cylinder is a little bit lighter, but then again the smaller engine has to work a little bit more. So if you don't floor those engines out there might come at the same fuel economy. So for all three types, so Z4 4-cylinder, Z4 6-cylinder, and also here the Toyota Supra 6-cylinder, which is only available as a 6-cylinder, as normal fuel consumption, when you don't have like attacking, aggressive everything, then it's about 7 to 8 liters on 100 kilometers. That's somewhat 30 mpg US, or in a very good 30 plus, 35 something mpg UK. And I think you can really live with that with a sporty vehicle. Again, just if you like, motorway, cruise control, or keeping it rather steady on countryside and the city. Of course, if you do like those flooring out, acceleration tests, whatever, then the fuel consumption goes up. I mean, but still, I think we can still live with that. Of course, they're more, eco-friendly cars, but then again, Toyota Supra and the Z4 they are not really big cars, so you can still use it somewhat as a primary vehicle if you don't have a family. Of course, a secondary vehicle if you have a family. You can use the trunk even though it's not too big. The comfort is still okay. You can do also longer rides with that, although the Z4 was a little bit more comfortable as with the seats. And the size is in a way that you still can park in and out even in the city. If you think about, let's say, a mid-size sports car or convertible, based on those normal mid-size cars, like, Mercedes C-Class size or something, those are even longer. So this size here definitely shorter and a little bit easier to handle, and also in the city. So a lot of adrenaline rush here today, but also some safety and sensible information. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Please leave me your feedback. And yeah, I know, some of you guys like John or Kevin, they are already really, watching it full length. That's how it's supposed to be, and always give some, certain hints which exact parts they like best. So shout out to you guys, especially today. Thank you again for, staying with us all the time. That's really means a lot to me. And hope to see you at our next driving part, where we now head over to our final conclusion. And now to the conclusion for today with the Toyota Supra. Well, exterior-wise, pretty dramatic, especially in this very color, but a lot of round shapes as well, but definitely true sports car from the exterior. Interior, I think it's good that they could profit from the BMW Corporation, because it's very well organized and also clean and good build quality. So that's really also very well done. Of course, the BMW has a little bit, more sophisticated options, if you like. So I think BMW really wanted to, have a differentiation right there. But they also want to keep it here a little bit more reduced, sporty-like, and it's maybe also a good decision. Driving-wise, yes, both cars, Z4 and Toyota Supra, come somewhat close. That's no wonder, it's the same base car. Still, Toyota found a sportier setup. Not only that they do the coupe, which is a little bit lighter if you compare the very same 6-cylinder models, but also in the driving dynamics from the setup. So a stiffer suspension even in the normal setting here, and more aggressive as for the traction control. So this car is definitely getting more loose, even if you leave all the assistance systems, all the helpers in place. There are a lot of assistance systems already included, so good safety overall from the active safety. That's pretty cool. But again, you have to be careful. This is a true sports car. And with the BMW, it's more like when you deactivate a lot of stuff, then it gets really aggressive. This one is aggressive from the get-go. Definitely a very fun ride. And of course, Z4 or this one, it's more the question of open top or closed top. That's the main differentiation. Please also tune into our Z4 reviews, both 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder, and tell us which one would you actually go for? Which one do you like best? Thank you so much for watching and tune in next time.